This is my 1" by 42" strip sander, and I drew a nice set of plans for it. And it's actually very tempting to cut out all these pieces and build another one. But the question is, should you build one? Of course you should build one, because that way I can sell you a set of plans, and that's how I make a living. The thing is, sanders like this can be bought awfully cheap sometimes. So why build one? Well, because this sander is a much better sander. It's got way more room here for sanding complicated parts so you don't hit the back of the sander. You can swap out the plate, and here's a flat one. Right now I've got the convex one on there, which is for sanding inside curves. It runs slower so it doesn't kick dust all over the place, and I can hook it up with a 2.5" port to my dust collector. But given that these things are quite cheap, you really want to build one of these on the cheap. And what I did is the wheels on here are actually just roller skate wheels, and roller skates like this can be bought really cheap at yard sales and secondhand stores. The other part that you need that you might not have is some shafting to fit inside, although for the shafts here and the one down here, those don't spin, so you could substitute dowels for those. For the one here, I'm using an 8mm shaft so I could use it with roller skate bearings. But if you can't find an 8mm shaft, there's shafts that I've recycled out of all kinds of machinery. For instance, like this one. This one came out of a shock absorber. This one came out of a printer. And this one I actually bought at the Home Depot. None of these ones here are exactly 8mm, but the only thing that matters is that you can get bearings that actually fit on the shaft. The potentially expensive bit of this sander is the motor, and this is just an old furnace motor which probably came from the garbage. Question is, where can you get a motor? I always just save motors as I come across them, so I always have a spare one, but motors you could use, this for instance is a motor from a bread maker, and it would be barely adequate because these bread maker motors are actually quite powerful. You could also use a motor from a furnace. You could use a motor from a sump pump, a motor from an old dryer, or a motor from a top-loading washers. All those are quite suitable. Or you could use a motor from a dishwasher. So my plans include a very detailed CAD model of the sander, which includes every screw, every washer, everything. Other than the bits of hardware and shaft, the sander is entirely made out of plywood, except for a few bits in the case, and this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. I also made a clip out of sheet metal to snap onto the flat plating, and that's much easier to swap in and out. And after all that sanding, this is all the sawdust I have on the table. So if you want to build your own strip sander, I have a very detailed set of plans with perspective drawings of everything and detailed building instructions, plus it has printable 1-to-1 templates of all the parts that go into it.